We often talk of shadow work within the Druid community. But what is it? What does it mean to do shadow work? The 20th century psychoanalyst Carl Jung conceived of the ideas of shadow and persona. Jung believed that all human beings contain within them the potential for all behaviors, both good and bad. According to Jung, the persona is the mask we wear in our everyday lives. It's the face we present to others. The persona represents who we think we are and who we wish we would like to be. The shadow, on the other hand, represents all those traits we wish to suppress in ourselves. All of our anger, fears, and negative emotions and behaviors are pushed down into the shadow and denied expression in the persona. Jung believed that the key to mental health was a process called individuation. Simply put, individuation involves striking a balance between the shadow and the persona. The shadow represents the forces of chaos and darkness within an individual, and the persona represents the forces of order and light. While the shadow contains all of our darker and more negative emotions, it is also the seat of creativity. It's the seat of personal power and the key to spiritual success. To deny the existence of one's shadow is to deny one's own ability to be creative and to be powerful as a druid. However, allowing the shadow to rule one's life creates a situation in which the individual is ruled by the forces of chaos and darkness. In Jungian psychology, psychoanalysis is the process by which we balance the light and the darkness within ourselves, thus achieving individuation. In the Black Mountain Druid order, we achieve this balance through more spiritual means by embracing the shadow and recognizing the impulses that it gives us. This doesn't mean that we have to act on those impulses. What it means is that acknowledging them is the first step to harnessing their energy and taking back our personal power. Some moral, religious, and ethical systems try to deny the existence of our darker impulses. These systems focus solely on the persona, or the face that we present to others. The more such systems suppress the darker impulses in the shadow, the more imbalanced the individual becomes. In such a case, the shadow becomes a pressure cooker with no means to release the pressure. In extreme cases, the pressure cooker blows, leading to dysfunction and even psychosis or other forms of mental illness. Druidry in the Black Mountain Druid order recognizes the need to balance persona and shadow. By acknowledging our darker impulses, we open the door to creating a balance between the persona and the shadow, between the dark and the light, leading to individuation. Unfortunately, many people think that acknowledging our darker impulses means having to act on these impulses. Nothing could be further from the truth. Suppose someone has done something that leads you to be angry with that person. For some, the first impulse might be the desire to retaliate in some way, by returning anger for anger, or by hurting that individual in some way. For others, the first impulse might be to tell themselves that it's wrong to be angry, and so they try to suppress the anger by pretending it doesn't exist. Those who focus only on the persona without embracing the shadow side of themselves would attempt to suppress and deny these impulses, even though the desire to retaliate is a perfectly normal reaction to being angered, and the desire to want to suppress such feelings is a way to avoid the negative consequences of acting out of anger or on impulse. The angrier such a person becomes, the more he tries to suppress that anger until he reaches a boiling point and reacts explosively to the situation. A druid of the Black Mountain Druid order, on the other hand, would seek to restore balance by acknowledging this impulse. Instead of swallowing the anger, Such a druid would recognize it as a darker impulse. But instead of returning anger for anger, a druid of our order would strive to express that anger in positive ways, perhaps by confronting the source of the anger and saying to the person, "What you said or did really made me angry. I don't want to be angry with you. What can we do to resolve the situation?" We are not separate from nature, and the seasons affect our moods and behavior as well. So if you think about that for a moment, you'll probably find this to be true for yourself as well. Do you find yourself becoming more contemplative and introspective during the winter months? Do you become happier and more outgoing in the summer months? Does a walk in the woods improve your mood? If so, you're not alone. The rites, rituals, and celebrations of Druidry follow the cycle of the seasons and allow us a tangible, symbolic representation of these inner states of being. Just as the seasons move back and forth between cycles of light and darkness, so our own moods and feelings cycle between lighter and darker times. Celebrating the wheel of the year allows us to acknowledge both our lighter and our darker impulses in a sacramental way. By acknowledging them, we restore balance to our lives and to our spiritual journey. Samhain will soon be upon us again. For Druids in our order, and for many pagans throughout the world, it's the time when the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead is the thinnest. It's a time when we begin to prepare to commune with our ancestors who have passed beyond the veil. When celebrating any high day of the wheel of the year, the first and most important goal is to ask yourself what your intention is in doing so. By focusing on the intention of the rite, you avoid the trap of just going through the motions. If your rite or ritual for Samhain is purpose-driven, you enhance its ability to speak to you and to allow the energy to flow. The ultimate goal of shadow work in the Black Mountain Druid Order is to strike a perfect balance between your ideal self, or the persona of Jungian psychoanalysis, in other words, the life of perfect order, and the perceived self, which is the shadow side of Jungian psychoanalysis, or the life of perfect chaos. In the Black Mountain Druid Order, we refer to this triad as the triad of ideal self, perceived self, and individuation. Individuation in this case means that you've achieved a state of balance and integration between persona and shadow. The more you learn about your own inner wants, needs, and desires, and the reasons for them, the more you will draw closer to achieving that balance of individuation. If you can learn to change your thoughts and feelings, you can learn to change your world. But to change your thoughts and feelings, you must first know what those thoughts and feelings are. This is the key to magic in the Black Mountain Druid Order. When your shadow work is completed, you will truly know yourself. When you truly know yourself, you will have the means through which to create the reality you wish to experience through magic. Most pagan and nature-centered paths have a heritage of storytelling around the fire. I've spent many pleasant nights in the fire circle hearing and telling tales. These stories not only entertain, but they also often impart lessons and wisdom to those who hear them. With this tradition in mind, this segment of Black Mountain Druidry, called Tales from the Fire Circle, will be about sharing stories, legends, and experiences with each other. Do you have a story you'd like to share? If so, record yourself telling your tale and send it to Black Mountain Druidry, and we'll consider airing it on the show. For further details, visit the website at blackmountaindruidorder.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Black Mountain Druid Order is an online and face-to-face Druid order. We never charge for membership, and our year-long foundational Druidry course is free. We've been educating people in the principles of Druidry as practiced by our order since the late 1990s. While we strive for historical accuracy as much as possible within our order, we also recognize that Druidry is a dynamic and ever-changing art. It would be impossible to reproduce exactly what our ancient ancestors practiced, and of course we wouldn't want to. Our ancestors lived in an agrarian society, and we live in a post-industrial society. Our goal as a Druid order is to create a thriving new growth with ancient roots. Black Mountain Grove was founded in 1997 by members of Emerald Coast Grove from Pensacola, Florida. The order was named after the town of Black Mountain, North Carolina, because that's where we held our rites most often. Over time, the name also became symbolic of the work we do. Our order does extensive shadow work, and the name Black Mountain grew to symbolize the Black Mountain of the unconscious mind, where the shadow dwells, and from which the power of creativity emerges. As interest in our teachings grew, Black Mountain Grove became an order in 2000. At that time, we began training novices and apprentices in the principles of Black Mountain Druidry, so that they could foster their own groves. Our primary purpose as an order is to educate interested parties in the principles of Druidry as practiced by the Black Mountain Druid Order. These principles embrace our four sacred pillars of reverence for our ancestors, respect for nature, service to the grove, to the community, and to the world at large, and growth in mind, body, and spirit. The order started in the 1990s in Black Mountain, North Carolina. In 2020, we relocated to Tacoma, Washington. While the home of the order now resides in the Seattle-Tacoma area, we kept the name Black Mountain Druid Order to reflect our history and our heritage. If you're interested in Druidry, especially Druidry as practiced by our order, we welcome you with open arms. If you wish to keep informed of the events of our order, please visit the website at blackmountaindruidorder.com to learn more. We have a forum on the website where you can post questions and answers and join in the discussion. Look forward to seeing you there. Are you interested in nature-centered spirituality? Are you looking to learn more about contemporary Druid practices? Did you know that the Black Mountain Druid Order has a free course in Druidry? Our foundational Druidry course covers the Wheel of the Year, basic herbalism, the OM alphabet, meditation, dream work, and vision seeking. It also teaches you how to begin doing your own shadow work. You'll also explore some rites of passage celebrated by our order. The foundational Druidry course is always free, and you're under no obligation to join our order if you decide that the way of the Druid is not for you. Find out more by visiting Black Mountain Druid Order's website at blackmountaindruidorder.com.
As we are
Meditation is a process of inner contemplation in which you elevate your consciousness by directing it to specific activities. There are two basic types of meditation: active meditation and passive meditation. Passive meditation is about leaving the doing mode of existence and moving into the being mode of existence by leaving thinking mode and entering into sensing mode. In sensing mode, you leave your thoughts behind and focus only on what your physical sensations are telling you. What do I see? What do I hear? What do I smell? What do I taste? And what do I touch? Passive meditation is not about trying to stop thinking. Trying is doing, and passive meditation is about being, not doing. Trying to stop thinking is thinking about thinking. Telling yourself not to think about it is thinking about it. The idea of a passive meditation isn't to stop thinking altogether, but to disengage from the thoughts and feelings that can act as barriers to achieving higher states of consciousness. You always have a thought stream in your mind. Even your dreams are a type of thought stream. If you picture your thoughts and feelings as a river flowing through your mind, then the goal of a passive meditation isn't to dam up the river and stop it from flowing. The goal of a passive meditation is to simply stop swimming in the river for a while and to climb out of the river, sit on the riverbank, and watch it flow by. By climbing out of the river, you leave doing mode and enter into being mode. Entering being mode involves setting aside any thoughts about the past or the future, or any feelings that you have to do something. Leaving doing mode and entering into being mode means paying attention only to the moment. Picture ripples on the surface of a lake. Each ripple is a thought. The goal of passive meditation isn't to make the lake disappear. The goal is to sit quietly until the ripples calm and the surface of the lake becomes as smooth as a mirror. This focus on the thought process teaches us that we are not our thoughts. We are something else entirely. Suppose that during the meditation, you make it a goal to totally stop your thinking process. You manage to sit quietly without any conscious thoughts for several minutes, but then you gradually become aware that you have begun thinking about something. Your immediate reaction might be, "Oh no, I've started thinking. I need to stop that." The question here is, what part of you recognized that you were thinking in the first place? It couldn't be your thoughts, because that's what you noticed. So it must have been something else. That something else is your true self. The goal of a passive meditation is to quiet the thought stream so that the true self can speak. The goal is to become a vessel that can then be filled with the quiet voice of your own divine self. Passive meditation involves simply paying attention to the moment by focusing on something neutral, such as a candle flame or your own breathing. Passive meditation has no goal other than to help you ground and center, and to relax and calm yourself. Active meditation, on the other hand, is more of a directed meditation designed to achieve a particular purpose. It's necessary to ground and center through passive meditation before beginning any active meditation, because passive meditation is a preliminary to any meditation activity. A passive meditation involves grounding and centering yourself by focusing all of your attention on a particular stimulus. This stimulus could be almost anything, but traditionally the breath itself is chosen, because while you may not always have a candle or a mandala upon which to focus your attention, you always carry your breath with you. Centering involves letting go of the cares of the day, setting all other concerns aside, and simply focusing on the present. Grounding involves getting in touch with the telluric energies of the earth so that you are stable and balanced. To begin this passive meditation, find a comfortable position free of distractions, either sitting or lying down. If you're wearing any tight or restrictive clothing, you may wish to loosen it. To begin, first center yourself. To center yourself, let go of the cares of the day by turning your attention inward. Focus on nothing but the sensations of your breathing. To allow yourself to just be, gradually become aware of any thoughts and feelings that you may be experiencing. In being mode, we realize that just because we're having thoughts and feelings, we do not have to do anything about them. Turn your attention inward as you focus only on your breathing. You're not trying to go any place. You're not trying to do anything. You're simply present in this moment, observing your body as you breathe. If your mind begins to wander, it's only natural. It's what minds do. Be aware that if your mind wanders, you don't have to follow it. You may simply wait for it to return to you by continuing to focus only on your breathing. Anytime you find yourself having thoughts, just return to your breathing and allow your mind to come back to you. As you continue to breathe, remember that there's no past, there's no future. There's only this present moment. Allow yourself to be in this moment, here and now. To end this meditation, gradually expand your awareness. If you're sitting, allow yourself to become aware of how your body makes contact with the chair. If you're lying down, allow yourself to feel how your body contacts the bed or the floor. Allow your consciousness to continue to expand. When you feel you're ready, slowly open your eyes and return to yourself. In Druidry, there's an alphabet known as Ogham, that's spelled O-G-H-A-M. The alphabet was named for the god Ogma, for his skills in eloquence. The original Ogham contained 20 letters. 5 more were added later for a total of 25 letters. Ogham is used for both communication and divination. For divination purposes, each letter of the Ogham is inscribed on a rune. Each of these runes has a divinatory aspect or meaning. The runes are usually placed in a special type of purse called a crane bag, then shaken or stirred up, and drawn and laid out in various ways and interpreted. An Ogham rune constructed for divination is called a few, spelled F-E-W. Each of the 25 letters of the Ogham is associated with a plant. It's sometimes referred to as the tree alphabet, but that's somewhat misleading, as some of the plants of the Ogham are not trees. For those interested in healing and magical properties of plants, the Ogham is a great place to start. Knowing the medicinal and magical properties of the plants of the Ogham would give you a good basic foundation in both herbology and magic. Not only that, but since each letter of the Ogham is associated with a plant, one druid may leave a message for another druid by simply arranging leaves on a string. Each leaf represents a plant of the Ogham, and each plant represents a letter. Some groves and orders actually use this technique as a test of one's abilities by leaving messages for students in the form of leaves. If the students can decipher these messages, they are considered learned in the art of Ogham. The calendar used today by the Black Mountain Druid Order is a lunar calendar as opposed to a solar calendar like the one used by most Western nations. This lunar calendar, devised by Robert Graves in his book The White Goddess, is divided up into 13 months of 28 days each, with 1 extra day left over. Each month on the lunar calendar is also associated with a tree and a letter of the Ogham. A horoscope can be constructed by finding the tree month of your birth and studying the properties of that tree. So the Ogham contains a calendar, a means of divination, and a means of healing. Obviously, there's a wealth of information to be obtained from the study of the Ogham. For this reason, anyone wishing a good basic foundation in Druidry would go far towards accomplishing this goal by studying the Ogham in depth. There's an Ogham chart on the Black Mountain Druid Order's website at blackmountaindruidorder.com if you're interested in further study. That's it for the first episode of Black Mountain Druidry. Thanks for watching. And also remember that you can go to the website and let us know what you'd like to see on the show. Do you have any questions about Druidry? Do you have any questions about paganism in general? Visit blackmountaindruidorder.com. Looking forward to hearing from you. Hi, this is Shinka Skane, Chief of the Black Mountain Druid Order. If you're enjoying Black Mountain Druidry, don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments or questions below. You can learn more about the Black Mountain Druid Order or become a member by visiting the website at blackmountaindruidorder.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, blessings of the ancestors on you and yours.